how would that be different for a teenager who's done something that's, very dangerous or requires a big boundary to be set or possibly even a punishment to be dished out?
It's the same thing. Let me do one that's even bigger. I was trying to explain this to somebody before. So the Nazis are exterminating Jews. Oh my God. So what you want to do is get the Nazi to stop exterminating the Jew. Now, you can do that in many ways, but that Nazi still wants to. And when there's an opportunity, will do so in whatever form. Why is that Nazi trying to exterminate Jew? I'm Jewish, so I'm allowed to say this, I'm told. Is because the Nazi was taught that the Jew is a rat. The Nazi believes Jews are vermin. And what do you do to vermin? You exterminate them. So what you need to do is teach that Nazi that this Jew is not vermin. And once the Nazi understands that, then everything else follows. All right. So the piece to understand here that people sometimes misunderstand, it's a very extreme example that I gave, but still, is that I'm not suggesting there aren't behaviors where we want to have some laws about and boundaries, as you put it. But still, even in the most severe cases, it's still, you're more likely to get the person to change their behavior when you understand why they did it from their perspective. The teenager is no different. So why is a teenager driving at 100 miles an hour when the speed limit is 40? Well, because he doesn't realize that he could kill somebody or kill himself. No, those are the consequences of that driving. Why is he doing it? There's some thrill involved. Why does he need that thrill? Well, his friends made him feel small, and he wants to show them how brave. What's actually going on? And it's going to vary from teenager to teenager, from Sophie's 6-year-old friend to, one to the other, or to you and your wife, or to me, the elders here. Once you recognize that most of us are mindless, so that you're seeing somebody else's behavior from your perspective, and that may be very different from the other person's perspective. So take me again with being gullible. James, sadly, don't tell anybody, I was taken by 2 psychopaths. 2. Cost me a fortune. Now, so we look at my behavior. You say, Ellen, what's the matter with you? You need therapy. I go to the therapist, and the therapist says, look. And I say, I know. It's crazy that, that I said yes to these people. So I'm going to try not to do it. And I'll try, but I'm going to fail. Because going forward, when I'm living my life, I'm not being gullible. I'm being trusting. And I actually value being trusting. So if you want me to stop being gullible, you've got to get me to stop valuing being trusting, which is very different, because then if it were a marriage, for instance, and you were the one who was gullible and your wife sees, oh, it's because you're trusting, she may, respect it now rather than want you to change.